About a year ago, I was scrolling through TikTok looking at funny people and literally pirated shows that no one does anything about when I came across financial entrepreneurial TikTok telling me ways to start businesses, invest in stocks and make money either as my job or on the side. One of the quoted side hustles suggested to me by this app that is now 99% Andrew Garfield was a little, apparently simple, apparently quick money-making, apparently low-effort technique. Which, about 11 months ago, I started. Instagram theme pages. So yes, this is my account, and as you can see, something must have gone vaguely right, because I have 1,354 followers, which is, is decent, and as of right now I have 555 posts, which is a very satisfying number. But of course I may start briefly from the beginning to show you what's what and what is and isn't terrible. So to start, I basically did the same as everyone else in the situation. I looked up YouTube videos on stuff, and I looked up stuff on the internet, and I basically just watched some, and some of it was good, some of it was rubbish. I think you kind of have to distinguish between those who have just done theme pages and have decided to make a video on how they did it, and then those who, their kind of business, their kind of thing is the money guru, and they're teaching you how to do these businesses, and they just want views. They don't want to actually tell you how to do it. So if you get a good one, I'll recommend one later on, then you're good to go. Now obviously the first thing they say is you have to pick a theme. That makes perfect sense considering it's a theme page. And as you've already seen, I decided to pick snow. Why? I have no idea, but I do quite like snow, and I hadn't seen many snow pages. Not sure if it was the best decision, because that isn't a very niche thing that people just love snow. They might like skiing or snowboarding or cats or dogs or polar bears. But snow is a little bit more broad, but hey, we went with it. So now another one of the first things you're told to do is to find out how you're going to get your images. Now, most of the theme pages and YouTubers that I watched on it said that they got theirs from a little app, which I'll put up here, which basically means you can click on someone else's post and then save it to your phone and then repost it yourself. Now to do this, you obviously have to credit the person in the description of your post. But there is a small issue with that, because technically, if you go onto Instagram's terms and conditions, which I will highlight here, you're not actually allowed to do that without permission from the creator, from the intellectual property holder. So if you're properly abiding to the rules, you need to go and message that person and ask them, can I use your post, and then still credit them, which is all good and well if you're a big enough page and you have enough drag to get them to see it. But if you're a small page and you're asking a big page, there's quite a slim chance that you'll get a response and that it'll be a yes. Now obviously a lot of them don't do this, they don't ask for permission and then they just credit them. And if you're a bigger page and you're sort of shouting out a smaller page using their post, they'll thank you for it and there'll be no issues normally, I'd imagine. That's a disclaimer right there. But if you are taking posts from bigger accounts and then using one to promote yours, you could end up in a bit of bother and you can get in trouble with Instagram technically. They didn't really mention this in the video, so I'm guessing it isn't a big issue, but I have checked the official terms and that is actually a rule. Now, to get around this, I did use a few posts and I just asked them beforehand. What I also did is I just went onto a website like Pixabay, or I'll put them up on the screen here, which basically let you download photos for work, for school, for anything, for personal use, for free. So you can actually go on here, type in whatever you want, cats, dogs, snow, whatever it is, and it'll come up lots of pictures and you can click on them and you can download them. And you won't get into any trouble for this because that is literally what it's for. Now obviously this might not work for all niches, but I did this because that way I don't have to worry about finding posts. It's much quicker. I can just sit on the toilet and go down and down and down and down, and that works quite well. And also because I don't have to credit them, I know that I'm not going to get in trouble with Instagram, whatever, because it's officially said on the website. So I recommend doing that. Obviously check that the website allows you to do that and it's not one that you have to actually buy. Now other things that cropped up quite a lot in the videos were using hashtags and staying consistent. Both of these are accurate. You want to hashtag your posts and that's all fine. And some of them also warned of using too many hashtags and getting shadow banned. But that's just something you'd find in your research, but I didn't find, well, I guess it didn't get big enough to know if I got shadow banned really, but I didn't find any issues with just using the same hashtags over and over again, more or less. And staying consistent is obviously very important. I was roughly consistent. I did about 3 posts a day. I possibly did a few more at first, but then I kind of toned it down and got consistent. Sometimes it might have been 2, sometimes it might be 4, but I had always had at least a couple posts a day, and I did keep doing that and stayed consistent. And obviously I have around about 555 posts now. Now I will say that I have not run this account for a couple months now. I ran it from February to August of last year, 2021, 6 months. So you can see that's how many followers I got in that time, and then obviously I've lost a few along the way because I've stopped posting consistently. Towards the end I just posted random pictures of my holiday in Northern Ireland. No snow whatsoever, just water and rain mostly. But people seem to not mind, so that was alright. Now one other thing that I have seen advertised a few times on how to get followers is just to buy them on websites. don't do this. Most of the people on the internet said don't do this as well, but you will get the occasional one that wants you to buy followers, and it might be through a link of their own site and stuff like that. I really wouldn't recommend doing it. You're not really going to get active followers, and I'm pretty sure you know it for yourself, but that is a thing which I did see around, and that is definitely not a good idea in any sense, really. Like for anything, subscribers, followers, Twitter. I don't use Twitter, but you know, any of these. Anyway, but of course, the main way that they all suggest that you get followers is by the wonderful follow for follow method. Basically, you go onto a bunch of big pages of similar theme, similar niche, and then you go through the follow list and follow as many people as you can who follow that account. And then, in theory, they should accept your follow and be like, wow, that account looks cool, I'm going to follow them too. And then you follow them. And then you can unfollow them later, because otherwise you're just going to have like 1,000 things that you're following. And that is the basic concept. Now this method is good, and it does work to an extent. That's how I got most of my followers. Most of them say do it up to about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, somewhere around there. And then at some point you should, in theory, start growing organically without having to follow anyone. But I don't feel like it's entirely all they make it out to be. You see, the thing is, because you have to unfollow the people, that means that a lot of the time they then go, oh, they unfollowed me, I'm going to unfollow them. They either realise that you're doing the follow for follow thing, or they just followed you because you followed them. You see, a lot of people just accept followers and then follow them back. But then when you unfollow them, they're like, nah bro, I'm out. It does work to an extent, and it is kind of convenient. It doesn't take too long to do. The only other bad thing is then having to go through and unfollow again is a bit of effort, but it does have pros and cons, as I've just discussed. Now, following on from this, obviously you get interactions on your post. You know, you get likes, you get comments, you get stuff like this. But I, at the peak of my existence on this account, had about 1,300, whatever it was. But on average, I say I got between 10 and 20 likes a post, sometimes even less. And I know that this is dependent on the post as to whether it's a good one, whether it's a viral post or not. But for that amount of followers, that isn't very many likes. That isn't a lot of interactions per post, which does suggest that perhaps until you start growing organically, which I did a bit, I did get some people that just see my post and then follow me because they liked it. But until you get more of that, a lot of the people just following you because you followed them, they're not necessarily going to like your post, and that does mean you get a low like to follow ratio. And following on from this, a lot of the things they talk about on these Instagram theme pages is the ease of making money. That is a big, big, big part of it for a lot of people. But the reality is, you don't make that much money. Now, obviously, I was only at just over 1,000 followers. That isn't very much. That is not the area you'd think you'd get a lot of money from it. But because I didn't have that many interactions, people who may have thought of asking for, can they have a promotion for however much, just wouldn't, because unless they wanted it for free. I did get some free ones, but they wouldn't because they see it's such low interactions. If only 10, 15 people are liking a post, not that many more are going to see it, and not that many more are going to like what they see, because they haven't liked it. It's literally the definition of the word. So it does mean that I got no money requests. I did have an Amazon affiliates link where I'd put like a picture of like a snow leopard or something, if it was like a paint by number thing, but no, I made absolutely no money. And obviously if I'd kept going and got up to about 20, 30k, that is more likely when you're going to start making some actual little bits of money. But you're not going to make anywhere near as much as people say you are. If you go onto these like Instagram thumbnails, they're saying that you get like 1,000 quid in like a week. You don't. You just simply don't. There is no way without consistent there's no way that without consistent work for a good while longer. You think I did this for 6 months and got to only 1.34. You're going to have to work for a good while before you're going to make money. It is not a getting rich quick scheme. It is not an easy, quick way to make money. You'd be better off in the short term getting a job as a paper boy. That's what I do. And it works. Finally, the other final way you can make money, technically speaking, via Instagram theme pages is by buying and selling pages. So you could buy one that has 30k followers, get it up to 100k, and then sell it on for more money. But this is completely against Instagram's terms of service. If you look here, it says you cannot sell or buy any part of your account, especially the whole thing. So basically, if you are doing this, you risk getting in trouble with Instagram. I don't know what they'd do if they caught you. Ban you? Maybe? I'm not sure. But that is a thing you have to factor in. I don't think many people get caught doing it, so you'd probably be okay. But that is the thing that you have to bear in mind if you're going to go for it. If you're going to start your life of crime, there's no turning back. No turning back at all. Now, following off from that, I go on to time. Now, I already mentioned how long I did it for. I did it from February to August, 6 months time. And in that time, I got this. I just hit myself in the face. I got 1,300 followers-ish. Now, I did actually have a few more of these when I stopped posting, and then I lost some because I didn't keep posting, which is fair enough and obvious, but I didn't lose that many. And the reality is, a lot of these people will be telling you that you can get up to 100k in your first year. I think that's unlikely. You could get lucky, and sometimes you may, but don't believe them when you say that this is going to be very quick and very instant. It's not. Some of them don't. The one that I recommend later is honest. He says that it will take a good year to start doing things properly, and it does. That is the truth. So, to conclude, Instagram theme pages can be good. They do seem to work if you use the techniques like the follow for follow method, and you definitely can garner somewhat of an audience over time. But they are not the quick money-making scheme that some people make them out to be. They do take time, more so than you may expect, both in the day and over a long period of time. You won't garner a ton of followers overnight. There's just very little chance of that happening. Now, if you do want to do this yourself, I said I would recommend you a channel, and I shall. Jared West, you'd probably just find him automatically if you looked up. But I watched this video, and I thought it was good, and that's actually what I used as my basis of understanding to start the account. Yes, I did. And the final thing I must say is that I am now going to log out of that account. Now, you can still see it, I think, and if you want to follow it, go for it. I would maybe log onto it in another year or so, and we'll see how many followers I have. I will presume that I've lost a lot, but we will see. If I don't post for a year or whatever, we'll see how many I lose and how many just stick around. That'll be interesting to find out. So I'm going to log out of that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that fine stuff. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.